excited for this segment of the program when we get to hear about the top 3 finalists in Startup Alley, and then you in the room get to vote on them. But before we do the Startup Alley finale, I want to just share a little bit more about what RTN is and our mission, particularly around the 3 pillars that are at the center of RTN and why we created it. First was standardization. And the membership community has built 7 standards already, built by the membership community, for the membership community. All those standards are available public on our website. Those standards, though, we're not stopping there, right? We know that as the market is changing, as technology needs are changing, there's a lot of opportunity for us to continue to evaluate how collaboration and standardization and just some consensus and perhaps some technical guidance can be valuable and allow brands to innovate faster, to have more flexibility in the technology partners that they choose, and to be less focused on integration and more focused on capabilities and feature sets that are really exciting to them. So earlier today, we ran a workshop for RTN. We had great collaboration in the room, and we put the folks in the room to the task of saying, what are the problems that you would like to see solved? What are the problems that, honestly, that keep you up at night? And if RTN were to tackle them, you think this could really help move the needle for you? And there were a lot of great ideas that came out of that session. We had 8 different tables. They all came up with ideas. These are just a few of the ideas that they put forth, and I think at several of their ideas will probably make it to work group status. I popped a QR code up there because we'd love to invite anyone in this room to learn a little bit more about what work groups are. So grab that QR code and just fill out the form. Tell us your name, company. Even if you're not a member, don't worry, we'll figure out. If you're not a member, we'll work out getting you inside. You can test drive some work groups and learn a little bit more about it. We really want to make sure that the standards and the work that we are creating within RTN are directly meeting the needs of the restaurant industry. So we had a great collaborative session earlier today. We know, though, that standards alone don't move the needle. It's really about adoption. And to show you what it looks like when technology suppliers embrace the standardization effort, let's learn a little bit more about one of the new sponsors at MURTEC this year, Orca.
Orca is the neutral connectivity layer that powers smoother operations for restaurants and puts operators back in control of their tech stack. By operationalizing RTN industry standards, Orca solves today's problems while uncovering hidden value to fuel future growth, powered by intelligent multi-system workflows. Orca layers onto existing systems to deliver immediate impact, while operators stay in control of their data and vendor choices. Scan to see how Orca can solve today's challenges and open the door to what's possible tomorrow.
So I share this with you because I think it's exciting to know that the technology suppliers are listening and that they hear the call for what the industry is asking for. This is just one example of how suppliers are embracing standards. We have quite a few RTN members out in the exhibit hall this evening, and you can locate them with their signs. I would encourage you to stop by and ask them where they stand on standardization and tell you a little bit about how they are participating. It's a very passionate community, and I am honored to have the support of everybody here at MURTEC as a part of RTN. So with that, we're going to shift to another core pillar in RTN, and that is our exciting RTN startup community. Startup Alley has been dubbed really a crown jewel at MURTEC, and if you saw that center aisle in the exhibit hall, you can understand why. Just like such a great hub of movement and ideas and innovation. We've been running Startup Alley here at MURTEC for, gosh, I think this might be year number 6 for us. And it's so impressive to see some of the wins, the great success stories that have been launched through Startup Alley. Just to get here to MURTEC, the 15 companies that you see in that room already had to go through a rigorous round of evaluation. We had quite a few nominations. We had an incredible judging committee. We'll meet the judges a little bit in a few minutes here this evening, who evaluated a significant pool and chose the 15, and those 15 are out in the alley. They've done the hard work of choosing top 3, and we're going to announce those here in a few minutes tonight. But I think what's really powerful is to know that there's no better partner in an initiative of this scale than a company that sits at the intersection of the restaurant experience and the foundational infrastructure that supports it. And we are really honored to have an incredible partner with us as the partner and sponsor of RTN Startup Alley for 2 years running now. Ladies and gentlemen, Courtney Radke, Vice President of Innovation at SageNet, which is our partner and sponsor of Startup Alley this year. Thank you, Courtney.
Well, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. That's the first time I've seen that video.
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah. It's really cool, and I think it really does underscore that message of how important it is to make sure that that foundational infrastructure is in place, because it is powering all of the really incredible technologies that we see in the room next door. So, Courtney, tell us a little bit about what Startup Alley means to SageNet and to you.
Yeah, so this is our second year sponsoring this, and I may be a little biased, but it is one of my favorite parts of the event. Right? It's energizing. You get to be on the ground floor of all the innovation that's coming now and in the future, and if you think about that, that's an extremely powerful tool. You don't really get that in a lot of places. So it's also kind of dangerous for me. I'm a technologist, and I like to go see how everything works. I want to try everything. I think we heard yesterday, we want to pilot everything, but I'm also a realist. So in my role at SageNet, I lead network and security innovation, and I also lead product. And I have to remember, live by our mantra of our team. It's make it possible, make it real, and make it work. And the make it work is the really big thing. It has to scale. It has to work inside of a restaurant. And so if your technology here as a startup can work inside of a restaurant, one of the most demanding environments that's out there, it can really work anywhere. So it's huge. It's great. I love this event.
Yeah, we saw that tablet toss. It's definitely a demanding environment.
I want to see that thing turn on. Yeah.
So let's remind everyone who the 15 semifinalists are that are here at MURTEC tonight. We had 15 hopefuls who, as I shared, already made it through a rigorous round of evaluation just to get to MURTEC. So just the fact that they're here already means that they have some really incredible ideas, and I know we're going to see some excitement out of some of those companies out there. But you were out there, you were checking out Startup Alley. What's been the energy like? What's been the buzz like in the alley this year?
Well, I think the thing, if I would sum it up, it's focus. We just heard Josh up here saying it's great if it'll work now, solve a problem now, works in 12 to 16 months. What's your plan for 18, 24? How are you going to be part of my business? Create that long-term partnership that Eric talked about. I think focus is huge. It's easier than ever before to launch new technologies. A lot of startups don't even get this far, right? And so the thought and care that these technologists, these leaders, these founders have put in is amazing. They have a story to tell, they have a problem to solve, yes, but they have a plan of how they're going to scale that for the future.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's such incredible energy, and we are going to make that energy even higher tonight as we get into the competition. Courtney, I invite you to join the audience, and you will have an opportunity to see these final three do their pitches and get a chance to vote as well. Wonderful. Thank you. I'll bring you back up here tonight when we are ready for our to reveal our winner. Okay, so we are, at this point, I'm really excited to welcome to the stage the three individuals who have worked really quite a bit with us at Startup Alley to help make this a successful experience this year. They had the difficult task of evaluating those 15, and they've narrowed it down to 3 tonight who are going to take the stage and pitch you in a live showdown, and then it will be up to you, the audience, to cast your vote for who you think should be crowned the winner of Startup Alley 2026. And now it is my honor to welcome to the stage this year's Startup Alley judges. Please welcome, from City Barbeque, Chief Information Officer Bryan Myers. From Mendocino Farms, Chief Technology Officer Brian Pearson. And from Zippy's Restaurants, Vice President of Technology, Anthony Mejia. Oh, gentlemen, thank you. You're gonna have fun. You get to be in the comfy chairs, put the contestants in the hot seat tonight. You guys had a tough job. I mean, evaluating the full pool of candidates down to the 15 that we see here. And then I know you spent a few hours with them yesterday to narrow it down to the 3 who you really wanted to see take the stage. So I'm gonna put you all in the hot seat now and say, in one word, I would love to know what Startup Alley means to each of you. Bryan Myers, why don't you start us off?
Excitement.
Excitement, I love it. Brian Pearson.
Kaizen. Getting better every day.
I love it. And Anthony?
Creativity.
Creativity. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I think it would help the folks in the room understand a little bit about the judging criteria that goes into Startup Alley, because we are going to ask them to evaluate the candidates on stage and choose a winner tonight. Why don't we show everybody the judging criteria? It's quite a rigorous thought process that you all go through. What you use as that criteria. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about how you evaluated them to choose the top 3 to take the stage tonight?
Yeah, I think, the level of innovation is absolutely critical, right? We don't want to see the same thing that we've seen over and over and over again. We want to see people helping our industry get better every day. I think innovation was the starting point, but then there's also this practical applicability to the restaurant industry, right? Like, is it something that we can actually use? I think we saw a lot of great ideas in the bulk that we looked at initially, but when you start peeling the onion back a little bit farther and really digging into the product, you really have to make an assessment of whether or not you can actually use it.
Yeah. Does it solve a real problem that exists today?
Yeah, and I would just add to the practical applicability, can the technology actually relate to a real world ROI? So it might solve a business problem, but can I sell that ROI to our business partners? Can I, whether that's savings, efficiency, does it relate?
That's great. Thank you. Well, I know it was a lot to think about and consider, and you took the work really seriously. Now you get to have some fun with the contestants up here tonight. So without further ado, we are going to announce who the top 3 finalists are that are going to take the stage this evening. Our first top 3 finalist is CapEnergy. The second finalist that will be taking the stage this evening is Saivory. And our third finalist is Social Scale. Scale Social. Okay, so here's how it's gonna work. Each contestant will come to the stage. They'll have 8 minutes on stage. They're gonna pitch you in the audience, and they're gonna take the seat next to the judges. We're gonna put them in the hot seat, and the judges are gonna ask them a few questions to really make sure that you in the room have an opportunity to learn about why they were selected to make the top 3 tonight. Once we've heard from each of our 3 contestants, we're gonna pop a QR code up on the screen. You'll have a few moments to consider your vote, and you'll get to cast your vote live in real time. And then we will bring the winner up for all the fun fanfare. Okay, we're gonna get it started. So I'm excited to bring to the stage our first finalist. We're gonna set the clock to 8 minutes, and we're gonna welcome from CapEnergy, Phineas Page, the CEO. Phineas Page from CapEnergy. Phineas, come on up. The floor is yours.
Hello, I've only got 8 minutes, so thank you for being here, everybody, judges. So we discovered a problem a few years ago that there is quite a lot of wasted energy in restaurants, super intense usage, small spaces. If you're wasting $10 on energy, it means you're basically wasting $100 of sales made, because if your site is, like a lot of restaurants, 10% EBITDA site level, it adds a lot to the bottom line when you stopped wasting that energy. So we worked with a number of brands, and we install a very small bit of hardware in your panel boards, and we give you appliance-level, accurate, real-time data. This lets you set startup routines, shutdown routines, real-time warnings. Also lets you make better investment decisions on efficient sort of investments in some in solar, some in battery, and also some in sort of refrigeration, or if there's a much older sort of AC or a condenser unit for your fridges, then yeah, it's an automatic sort of payback and very sort of efficient. It's very low cost. My family had restaurants, and I know how tight you guys are. Very careful with operational costs. So we've always said our pricing model is like, it's such a no-brainer that we like have to have this data. And we've created this new data set, which is very exciting. So yeah, as I mentioned, there's like real-time alerts if things are on at the wrong time. If you set yours like startup routines, we can tell you exactly how much you've wasted compared to like when the sort of grill or the fryer or the HVAC or the RTU should and shouldn't be on. In Europe, we have quite a nice temperate climate, but like we're in the US and very hot in the south, very cold in the north, and so like lots of different usage, so there should be lots of different sort of use cases for this. We also recognize mechanical issues. We have the Chipotle contract in Europe, and we had a 11% saving versus year zero. That was again from startup routines, making sure they did like cold prep first before they stuck all the grills on, all the fryers on, everything like that. So that's been like a really good use case. We're in about 1,000 sites over the last like 2 years. And yeah, we're like combating this ever surely and slowly increasing energy cost. So it's one of those things that everyone's dealing with. Cherry on the top is our proprietary hardware picks up sort of harmonics, so we can see if something's about to fail, like a fan or like a condenser unit. So that's quite nice. So like predictive maintenance a little bit. In summary, we have fixed what used to be we have fixed a problem which used to be an ignored like overhead, like bang, you can't do that, to we've changed it to like effectively a managed cost. And also, again, with the increasing energy prices, you can make better energy decisions and invest and save the world at the same time, as well as some of your stores. So that's about it, I think, quite clear.
Why don't you take a seat and let's have some questions.
Excellent. Thank you.
Nice job. So Phineas, there's other energy solution products out there, some that help you reconcile your bills, change your time periods for energy. You've got sensors. What is it that your product does better than any of those that makes it unique to the energy solution business?
I mean, specifically for restaurants, like as I mentioned, there's many large usage appliances, and no one's really sort of split that out like as a sort of use case. So we're very much like an operational tool rather than a sort of generic energy tool. There are some like amazing businesses out there that can sort of do controls and things like that, but in the end, like we've worked with businesses that have these control systems which end up being ignored or break, and this is again low cost, real time, all the time. You can see very quickly if your site is not being efficient, and that's where the real savings come in.
Thank you.
It's an operational tool more than the sort of generic like reporting, like not a billing tool. It's for the guys on the ground to help.
Thank you.
Save.
Okay, I got another one for you. Yeah. So a lot of the products that we looked at required integrations or other things that I needed to get set up. What kind of prerequisites or site limitations might I have with your product if I were to put it in?
I mean, the usual way we work is we select, a number of sites, big, small, different like places. We install, sensors. It's not intrusive. It just clips on wires in the panel board. So you have like a 3-phase for your grill, your fry, your RTUs, your water systems, for example. Takes about half an hour for any electrician to do it. Super, super easy. As soon as it's like wired up, it connects to Wi-Fi, internet, Ethernet, or like 4G connectivity. It feeds like a very easy to use dashboard, which we don't want your teams to use. They look at it once or twice with their sort of area manager, set the alerts, set the startup routine, and then the weekly reports show you the efficiency, the wastage, or things like that. Some quite more efficient brands have like the restaurant screens, and it says, oh, this has gone on too early. Make sure this is like, and then we can actually say whether your site is being efficient or not compared to others. That makes sense.
When I was judging these things, there were 3 things that I was really looking at. Can this save me time? Can this save me money? And can it make me money, right? So let's talk a little bit about the ROI, right? So like, what is the typical ROI on this product, and when should I see my payback?
Well, hopefully immediately, pretty much. It's low cost. Like we try. The average ROI is like 2 or 3 times in year 1, we save. On average, as I said, Chipotle 11%, but it's around the 10% mark. Like that's just general wastage, like in your house, in your home. Like there's always efficiencies to be made. When you have such high usage, like big machines and appliances, and young teams, high staff turnover, like you need to keep on top of these things. So, for example, we work with 5 Guys, and they have a 4-kilowatt fry dump, and so if someone turns that on at 8 a.m. rather than like 10 before midday when they open, because it only takes a couple of seconds to warm up the radiant heat, that's like a couple of dollars a day, so like $700 a year just on one fry dump, like being on too early. So like super simple things, let alone they're like huge grills and HVAC and things like that. So ROI is like pretty immediate if you like engage like really well with it. And the setup costs, electrician can do 3 or 4 sites in a day, we found.
All right, I may be getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but you've got this great product. What's maybe in the pipeline, like other things that you can see that could kind of branch off from this or be complementary to this?
Well, as you can hear, I'm not from America, but there are, demand response, sort of like things with your various different grids. You've got 4 in the US, so that's like super exciting. We're working with like energy partners to potentially integrate that into the system. Like, don't turn these on at this time, don't use this at this time, and they actually pay you to use it. Again, we don't just do direct sales, we work with other partners. So like there's a huge car charger, electric car charger business we're working with, and they say that they want to speak to restaurant brands. So maybe partner with that, so make like things more efficient. And then lastly, the preventative maintenance. Like we can see if a fan's about to fail in an extract system, and it's like, guys, like the fan curve is like really wonky on this site, so let's try and get some maintenance. So predictive maintenance could be quite good as well. But yeah, all things to play for, and it's a new data set, so we're really excited to keep on growing.
That's great. We got about 7 seconds. Any closing words?
No, again, thank you all so much. Very excited to be here. An amazing place, and it's been a great event for us. So thank you.
Great job, Phineas.
Thanks.
All right, fantastic. That is Phineas Page, the CEO of CapEnergy. Okay, we're going to keep it moving, and I'm really excited to bring to the stage our next finalist from Saivory. Please welcome Stephen Klein, CEO. Stephen Klein from Saivory. Come on up.
Everyone, thanks for having me. So restaurants have always been foundational for our communities and our culture. There are about 700,000 in the United States today, but we think almost all of them are asking some of the same questions. How do we grow revenue, build relationships with our customers, and compete in a world that keeps getting more complicated and more expensive? Well, increasingly, restaurants have turned to third-party aggregators and delivery giants for order flow, and have turned to outsource marketing to external agencies. But in doing so, already thin margins are compressed, and your valuable customer data lives in somebody else's black box. Oddly, it seems that this generation is building relationships with tech giants and third parties and not the fantastic restaurants and brands that actually make their food. Now layer on what's happening in the technology world that we're all discussing here. As we're all aware, AI is changing the way that people find, learn about restaurants, ultimately transact, and the kind of experiences that they're expecting. And we think that restaurants need to future-proof themselves for this new world that's coming, or else they'll continue in the same cycle of expensive practices that don't actually grow the brand. So that's what we're working on at Saivory. We're a platform that is built by restaurant operators for restaurant operators, and everything that we do is geared toward trying to drive first-party traffic and first-party revenue in a world that's increasingly going third-party. And how do we do this? Well, we're focused on the 3 phases of the consumer journey: discovery, conversion, and engagement. So let's start with discovery. Obviously, Google and the search world is incredibly important for where people find things, and that real estate is generally owned by third parties with smart technology. We use what we call smart landing pages that are AI generated to dynamically find and organize content that relates directly to a user's search query. This drives higher conversion, higher relevance, and better SEO. And then in the AI world, when somebody goes to their favorite AI assistant and asks, where should I eat, et cetera, we want to make sure via our MCP-enabled technology that they can find your restaurant and not just the third party with smarter technology. Next, let's talk about conversion. This is where we think restaurants, by and large, leave money on the table. Restaurant ordering experiences are generally clunky and onerous, require a lot of decisions, calculations, et cetera. We have built an AI ordering assistant where you can just simply use plain language and say, order me lunch for my office of 30 people, 5 are vegetarian. Immediately, with that one prompt, we can build an optimized cart that you can edit or just simply click to check out. And this is driving higher AOVs. One large brand is seeing 25% higher AOVs than non-AI orders, and more than double that the size of third-party delivery orders. Lastly, we'll talk about engagement. So we're using AI to generate smart and relevant advertising campaigns for customers. And we don't think one specific use case, we don't think franchisees have a great way to buy advertising in a way that they can both see the clear ROI and management, corporate, et cetera, can track along. So we're building a workflow to offer exactly that. The data can come back into dashboards and brands can lean into what's working. So that's what we're working on at Saivory. We're focused on first party, driving both traffic and higher AOVs for our customers. And I appreciate you having us here. Thank you.
Steven, come on over to the hot seat. So when you were demonstrating your product earlier to us and your vision, one of the things that really was captivating to us was this notion of dynamically created web pages based on search results. Can you kind of describe to us what you're seeing from a performance standpoint from this dynamic web page and post, from a searchability, from a conversion, et cetera?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, everybody wants to be in those first few search query on a search engine page. Everybody wants to be in those first few. And if you look right now, who's dominating that? It's Yelp, it's TripAdvisor. I mean, it's not the restaurants who are, in many cases, synonymous with breakfast or, you know, in the case of one of our customers, donuts in that location. So we generate these pages. If somebody is looking for best donuts near me, best kolaches near me, we can generate in real time on the fly these pages that will match content, organize menu, review, et cetera. And what we've seen since we've launched this is over 100% improvement in number of tracked keywords that are ranking in those top 3. And so that's really intended to not only drive better SEO and better traffic, but a cleaner user experience, more relevance, et cetera.
For sure. Talk a little bit more about how that will be more affected by the AI platforms that people are using for search and ordering as well, beyond just the browser and, you know, kind of your search results on Google.
Yeah, so we're working on an app right now with, obviously people are more and more turning to ChatGPT and Claude and so forth. And we have an app workflow whereby if you say, hey, I'm having a breakfast meeting, find it on my calendar or order breakfast, it can call tools that can go in and find that meeting, the number of people, the location, the closest store to, you know, where that location is, and tee up everything for you to essentially click and say submit.
Yeah. So one of the things that kind of occurred to us as we were looking at your product is it seems like you're disrupting a number of different kind of call it product categories as you're coming in with your solution. The last one you described was disrupting CRM to a degree, right? While you're dynamically creating these offers and setting them out. So I guess as I think about that, there's certainly the smaller businesses that can, you know, level right away and level up incredibly without additional investment. But how do you think of that kind of as you get more into the enterprise environment and working with larger chains which have bespoke experiences and handing off data to us in ways that enable the same behavior but faster and more accurately?
It's a good question. I mean, we think that these 3 phases of the user experience or the customer journey can be additive or thought of together. You know, we think of more traffic and better conversion as kind of the more shots on goal and, you know, more likely that you hit that goal when you get that shot. But as you're pointing to, some brands don't necessarily want to use all of those pieces, and so we have to be able to make sure that, you know, we integrate with the systems that they have and, you know, can add value in either of those silos or all together.
And as you'd mentioned already, you were integrated directly with Olo already, correct? Yeah, and any direct integrations with other POS or other platforms, but or is that the big one?
Working on it, that's right in the mix, and then we're also integrated with loyalty providers and the like.
Great. Well, you've got about 25 seconds left. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about?
Just, we're really happy to be here and honored to be considered amongst these other startups, and thank you all.
Well done.
Good job.
All right, that is from Saivory, Stephen Klein, the CEO. So good luck to Stephen and Saivory. We're going to bring up our 3rd finalist to win you over here this evening from Scale Social. Please welcome founder and CEO Runbin Dong. Runbin, come on up.
Thank you guys so much. My name's Runbin. I'm the founder and CEO of Scale Social. We work with brands to turn their real customers into their best advocates at scale. So Scale Social was born out of my personal experience running a dumpling business with my mom. We were in RTP, North Carolina. And we built a website, we sold dumplings online, and we hand-delivered every single dumpling door to door, 200 miles every single Saturday. We eventually sold this business, but through that experience, after we sold it, we're like, okay, well, what is that one problem that kept with me? It was marketing, and especially marketing at the smallest scale as an SMB owner. And the reason it's so difficult is because we tried to work with agencies who were too small for them. We tried influencers, but they're like fireworks. It comes and goes. And we tried part-time, full-time. None of them were like really affordable for us. And so we took that problem, we started thinking about what really worked for us as a small business. And the genuine moments when our customers will text us their dumpling making experiences. These are short form videos, unsolicited. They're like, hey, we're making your dumpling for you. Those moments turn out to be the best marketing assets. So that was the inspiration. We're like, okay, how can we turn that into a repeatable solution? So the way Scale Social works today is when we partner with the brand, we will set up QR codes across your venue. So these are on tabletops, you can put it everywhere. And for diners, they will simply scan the QR code, upload their genuine experiences while inside the venue, and then they will get something in return. That could be a free side, a free drink, whatever the operator decides. Our best operators actually make it into an unboxing experience. It's like, you don't know what it is, so there's a curiosity element in it. And on the back end, the technology works seamlessly. What that means is when the upload is made, it goes into our platform. We own the rights to that content, and we reassign the rights back to the operators and the owners. Josh made a really good comment earlier in the panel. The data ownership is critical. And so we leverage that data, and we make short form videos that we know performs really well on social media marketing campaigns. And we hand deliver that back to the operators for them to approve, review, and eventually deliver through their teams. So what that also means is because we're analyzing every photo and every video frame by frame, we know exactly what's happening inside every single location. I can tell you what your customers look like because every store is different. They are sort of a microcosm of the community that they're a part of. And so that allows us, and herein lies the roadmap conversation, to really analyze and have operators ask meaningful questions about what works at that location. So where we are today, we work with about 20 brands, ranging from multi-location franchise brands all the way to Fortune 500 brands. So what that means is we have an enterprise-grade SDK that can be directly embedded into your digital layer. So if you have a mobile app, we can weave our solution into it. Just like how payment processing APIs work, we process content and we distribute content. So I'll close with this. Your customers are your best assets. We're in a position to empower them and really advocate for you. And the most magical moment for me personally is when one of the operators texted me and said, hey, guess what? I have a customer who came into the door because they saw their cousin in one of your videos. These are the moments that we're trying to replicate, and that's the future we see. We see that customers are going to be in a position and in a driver's seat to advocate for the brands that they love. Thank you so much.
Come on over to the hot. So first of all, congratulations. Really excited about the concept. Love the idea of using user-generated content versus traditional marketing content. Can you explain a little bit more about the AI engine and how using AI to curate that content might benefit a brand versus manually curating the content?
Absolutely, and this is critical and very topical right now because there's so much AI content being generated. So as a company, we put a stake on the ground and say, you know what? Authenticity is gonna become more and more scarce, more precious, and there should be a premium on that. So our guiding principle is we're not in a position to generate content using AI. Instead, we collect genuine moments and we use AI to generate insights from the content that we collect and we use AI to optimize for how these videos should be compiled, because we have so much of the research coming from social media, understanding what frames work on TikTok or on Meta.
Great. When you talk about your future roadmap, what is the most exciting thing that you plan on releasing or evolving your solution?
So 2 things. One, we have this thing called the wall of love. So the best sort of analogy I have is, when you go to a pub, maybe you see a Polaroid wall of their customers that are really just a part of their community. We're building a digital version of that. So as a prospective customer or a new customer, they kind of see who else is a part of that community. That's very, very powerful visually. The second part of that is allowing brand officers and marketing officers to really start querying and understanding the makeup of that particular store. What do these customers look like? What are they really engaging with inside the store setting? What products show up? Are they happy? Are they not so happy? Generally, they're very happy. And that allows us to start making very informed decisions, business decisions, on what kind of offers might actually work for that location. And so when you compound that over thousands of locations, first of all, being able to see that on a per store level, and then sort of compounding that regionally, nationally, then that allows you to do very, very meaningful things with the data.
Thank you. Last question, you got 1 minute and 20 seconds. How would you define ROI? How do you sell it to a business?
We define ROI in many levels. So Anthony actually mentioned this earlier. Does it help me cut down cost? Yes, it does. So instead of hiring influencers all the time, leverage your customers, right? So there's that. We measure our success by content velocity. So on a per store level, we collect about 100 plus pieces of content every single month per location. And because we use AI to screen the content, we can pick out the best performing content from that stack. And then on top of that, the videos that we generate, these are short form videos, so typically 20 to 30 seconds long. The hook rate, the average hook rate, that means you've kept someone for 3 seconds, is 75%. That's 3x industry average, right? The reason is because it's real. And that's what you're really signaling to your future customers.
Thank you very much. 20 seconds left. Anything else you want to say?
Absolutely. We'll be at Startup Alley, so come and say hi.
Thank you.
Well done.
Congrats.
Fantastic. All right. And from Scale Social, that was Runbin Dong, founder and CEO of Scale Social. Okay, we're going to pop the QR code up on the screen so that you in the audience can take some time and consider your vote. Judges, your hard work is done. I want to thank you so much for your time in helping to make Startup Alley such a success this year, and invite you to go back into the seat and you can go ahead and cast your final votes. Thank you very much again to our rockstar judges for everything they have done to help make Startup Alley possible this year. Okay, so this is simple, folks. You're going to scan the code, and then you're going to see the 3 finalist options when you get in there, and you're going to cast your vote. We're going to leave that up for just a moment and let you consider, again, those finalists from CapEnergy. You heard first from Phineas Page, the CEO. From Saivory, we met Stephen Klein, the CEO. And from Scale Social, we met Runbin Dong, founder and CEO. All right, I am going to welcome back to the stage Courtney Radke from SageNet, the sponsor and incredible partner tonight in Startup Alley. As you all are all considering and casting your votes, Courtney, come on up. Okay, I asked the judges each this question, and I'd love to get it from you. In a word, what does Startup Alley mean to you?
Opportunity.
I love it, opportunity. That's really good. So you were out there, you saw the incredible level of innovation going on in the Alley. Do you think that the barrier of entry for startups has changed and elevated in this market, particularly as some of the established technology partners have started to add more and more innovation into what they're doing? How hard is it to become a startup in this market today?
Yeah, the barrier is higher. I think that's a good thing, and I think it should be. Restaurants are hard. There's a lot of real world, right now, right here problems to solve for. So you can't just be, no matter how cool your solution is, no matter what big problem you solve, your technology cannot become another problem. You have to make sure that you're adding value to the organization, that you're not just another widget to be cared for. You have to become that trusted partner. You have to solve problems now and over time. So the bar is definitely raised. This is a smart audience. This is a smart, industry. There's tougher questions to ask. There's tougher problems to solve for. There's a lot of startups out there. Not everybody makes it to here. So the bar is definitely raised, and it should be.
Yeah. We've had some great startups come out of Startup Alley over the years. Our first Startup Alley winner was PathSpot, which today is recognized in thousands of locations as a sanitization provider.
Yeah, I was there for that one.
You were there. I know that was an incredible Startup Alley. We had Barbeque take the stage. We've had Helimeter, last year's PickPad,
yep.
right? Any thoughts on just the caliber of innovation and what you've seen years past, looking at some of those prior winners from Startup Alley?
Again, the bar goes up. The stories that these companies can tell are amazing, but the work that's put in behind the solution is real. It's not smoke and mirrors. The tough questions are going to be asked. When you're in an actual restaurant, you're going to be put to the test. You're going to know if it really works or not. So I just, the thought and care and understanding of the industry has just gone up significantly.
I think it's so important to remember the physical environment that we're talking about, right? It is truly one of the most difficult, physical, demanding industries, right? Rib sauce, grease fryers, all of the things, the maple syrup that we heard talked about this morning from Dine Brand, right? If you could pass the maple syrup test.
Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing that the votes are in.
Oh my gosh.
And that we have a winner.
Okay.
So we're going to invite Tammy Hansen from RTN to the stage to deliver the envelope.
Ooh, the envelope.
The envelope, please. And Courtney, if you could do the honors of announcing this year's winner of RTN Startup Alley.
Oh, it's even gold lined and everything. We're very professional here. So, the winner of this year's Startup Alley is Scale Social.
Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. We have a fabulous award for you as the winner of this year's Startup Alley, RTN. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you for the opportunity. Absolutely.